my goodness. Oh, Mama Pat. Oh. Ah, you guys.
You're still my favorite queen of the night. My friend, let's drive off again. Let's drive off
My Glam Sisters, I am so excited to dive into this new Pat Mcgrath Celestial Nirvana Quint. But before we get started, if you're new here, I'm Kristi. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell. Join us. We're here every Friday and Sunday, and we just love for you to become part of our family. Please give this video a huge thumbs up when you guys hit that like button, and when you comment below, it really does help my videos out. You can follow me on all my socials at Kristi Allure and check out my rich, glamorous life collections. All right, let's dive into this. Oh my goodness, so I just reviewed the brand new Mega Celestial palette that Pat Mcgrath released for 2022. You can check out my full review and eyeshadow look, but this is the one I was dying to get in the mail, you guys. This is like my color story to the T. It is beautiful. It is just that 90s cool silver toned metallics, yet you have that warmth in there with those bronze tones and those rose gold tones. I can't even tell you guys, this palette I was so excited about, just the color story in general. But when I looked at the stock pictures, that was the one that I was drawn to. The other one I did not buy because that wasn't my, even though it had Allure in the name, it just wasn't my color story. You guys know, if you're Glamfam sisters, I just don't really care for pinks on the eye. So this was definitely, this Bronze Bliss was just the perfect palette and the one I was the most excited to get in the holiday collection. And then when I saw it in person and opened it up, I was speechless. It was just, it's so much more beautiful in person than it is in any photo. I'm gonna try to capture it the best I can on my iPhone cam, and that's just in natural daylight. No fancy lights, literally natural daylight, just in my kitchen, outside. It is just breathtaking. From the packaging to the actual textures, feeling it. I haven't put it on my eyes yet, but just swatching them. Oh, I mean, just literally got my breath taken away. It was so incredibly beautiful. Just the most beautiful metallics I have ever seen in my entire life, and wearable ones. And by the way, Mama Pat watched our last video, you guys, and I can't even tell you, if you watch it again, Mama Pat, first of all, I'm your biggest fan. Second of all, it was like, literally, I have chills. I'm getting choked up. That's how like emotional I got. I mean, that video didn't even get as many views as my other videos did. For some reason, it just didn't perform as well. And hopefully it will continue to perform well. So make sure you watch that video. But I was a little down on myself for that, just because it's hard not to compare yourself to others, and it's hard when your videos are not getting as many views as other beauty YouTubers out there. And when I saw that comment from her, I forgot about everything, because that meant so much to me that she watched the video. So I hope you watch this one too, Pat, and I hope it do you proud. But this is just the most incredible palette. You guys, I purchased these myself, and I just could not be more happy with this holiday 2022 collection. These are the most incredible shades. So let's just quickly go over the details. We'll go over the swatches, and we'll jump into the eyeshadow look. I always put the timestamps on the time bar, as well as in the description if you want to jump ahead to any point, and then at the end we'll just rank it as I always do. So let's start off with the details. Again, this is the Celestial Nirvana Bronze Bliss eyeshadow palette for $36. You get about 4 grams, 0.14 ounces, and that's the net size. So that's basically the total size, but each pan breaks down to about 0.8 grams. So you're looking at about $9 per gram. And I know a lot of you are gonna go, that's a lot of money, but it's gonna take you a while to get through these pans. I still have her minis from a couple years ago, and you guys know that one right there is like my holy grail palette. And let's just take a look at it in studio here. I mean, you can see the picture, but these are pretty tiny. I use this shade right here probably, I don't know, about 99% of the time I do my makeup off camera, because it's still the most incredible shade ever. This is about 2 years now, you guys, and look at how insanely beautiful that is. So it's that same concept that she did. These are Quints as well, but I think this is even bigger. I'll have to put the weight size, I'll put that right there. I can't really see without my glasses, but that's what it looks like in studio. So this is what couple years ago, and then this is this year. I like this one just because I have a matte in there, but I still loved this one. I hope one day she brings this back. This was a 5-pan palette, and each was 1 gram. So actually there was a little bit more in this, so it must be just a little bit deeper, but this one looks bigger in studio and in person, but it just might not be as deep into the pan, where this one is set deeper into the pan, but they're smaller little things. But I personally love this. I wish she would do more of these because I think they're amazing, and it's such a good price point. It's gonna take you a long time to get through these shadows. No, they're not, you know, 10 cents a pan, because we're not paying for, no offense, but we're not paying for ColourPop shadows. We're paying for Pat McGrath shadows. And that's just my personal opinion. I know many of you may think, or many people may think, argue against that. But for me, it's worth it. And I think I would pay $10 per gram because that's how incredible this formula is. Transcend the spectrum with a beautifully edited Quint starring 5 celestial hues and 3 ultra smooth finishes. Sculpt and smolder with sublime silk mattes, illuminate like an icon with a shimmering foil, sparkle without caution in a trio of mesmerizing metallics. Each exquisite powdered eyeshadow glides on effortlessly, delivering opulent opacity in a single stroke while building luxuriously blended layers of multi-dimensional color. Oh my goodness, those swatches were unreal. I really want you guys to take a look at it outside and just really experience what I experienced. Those are one swipe swatches, and I don't think I've ever seen anything more beautiful in my entire life. These shades are incredible. I cannot wait to see how they're gonna perform. So let's take a look at the individual shades. Now there's no real shade descriptions on her website that I could find, but what I loved is she actually kind of teaches you how she would use, or kind of just gives you a suggestion on where to use these shades. So let's start off with that first shade, and that one's called Nude Moon. So she said you can illuminate the inner corner and brow bone with this intense luminosity. The next shade is the only matte in the palette, and that one's called La Vie en Noir, and that is shade 2. I don't know if I pronounced that correct. My UK girls can help me out with that. So this shade, as we all would do, is add depth to the socket, crease, outer corner, or use a damp brush to use it as like a liner or put on the lash line, like the lower lash line area. So that's gonna be your contrast color. And then the third color is Lunar Luxury, and that is to emphasize the eyes with a flash of metallic color. Use a finger to swipe the color across the lids, or use a blending brush for a seamless blend. That right there is probably the most incredible shade I have ever seen in my entire life. It is one of the most beautiful shades. I can put that on the top of eyeshadow shades. Is the best I've ever seen. It is that incredibly beautiful in person. The next shade is Bronzed Mink, and that is a gorgeous bronze tone. I love that she added that bit of warmth into the palette, and that one she recommends using it to sculpt and shape the eyes by blending through the crease, the outer corner, or even the lower lash line. And then the last shade is called Bronze Illusion, and this to me is almost like that gorgeous like rose gold type shade. Accent the eyes by pressing this metallic copper bronze over the center of the lid or the inner corner. So again, you can use these however you want. I just wanted to share that just in case you did not see that on her website. As of right now, I only see this available on the Pat McGrath Labs website. So this really is a beautiful palette to take from day to night to create natural looks. I will be traveling with this palette and this palette now. I mean, I will always have these two on hand because I think they're that amazing. And I love how small they are. I mean, look at how thin that is. It's very small and very easy just to throw into your bag. I like that it's cardboard. I love that she still has the gold detail on the packaging, and I love that she puts the shades in the back. That's awesome. And you still get a mirror right there. So that is just really great. I can't use these mirrors because I can't see, because I'm too old and I can't see anymore. But it's there if you need it, where this one didn't have the mirror. But I love this. I don't always hear people talk about this or other influencers talk about this, but this is literally my favorite. And Pat McGrath, if you watch this video again, please bring this back for me, okay? Because I absolutely love this. I absolutely love this, and I love this one. This one I've been using non-stop, you guys. I talked about it in that last video I did on the Mega Celestial palette. This is her Vault collection, and this was also a bronze palette, but this is like, I have been using this every time I do my makeup. I just think it's one of the most incredible eyeshadow palettes. If you guys want me to do a look with that, comment below and let me know. So let's jump into this. I already have my foundation on. I'm wearing the Il Maquillage today, and I actually mixed it with my Armani Luminous Silk. I have Pat McGrath, a Sublime Concealer in L5 on. I used that one, absolutely beautiful. And then that's all I have on. I have a little bit of my Viseart Noir contour. We're gonna jump off camera and do a separate video. So this will be on Sunday. So stay tuned. This is the new Charlotte Tilbury. We're gonna test this out. So I don't have anything else besides that on. I do have my Juvia's Place in shade 1 as my eyeshadow base. I wanted something a little bit more white based because I really want these to stand out. So for this look, we are going to create, again, a more glamorous look. And we're going to use that as the smoke shade. But for someone like me, I just need that dimension. I need that little bit of transition in there. So we are going to take Statuesque. Again, this is just my absolute favorite shade to use as either, I can even use this as a nose contour. That's how much, it's like just unbelievably beautiful. Do you see how pretty that shade is? It'll be perfect, and it's that perfect neutral undertone. It's not warm, it's not cool, it's just neutral. And I think it'll be really beautiful with this palette. I just want to swatch some of these in studio really quick, these metallics. Can we just talk about that? How that can literally go on and on. I mean, you can even take the remainder and really, I mean, look at how far that's go. I can keep going. I can wrap around my hand. That is literally the most incredible foiled metallic I've ever seen. These are my kind of metallics right here. I love anything foiled. Oh my gosh, do you guys see that? Do you see that definition right there? And then we'll do, and we're going to put that one right here. Oh, do you see that copper rose gold effect you get? I mean, seriously, you guys, how insanely beautiful is that? All right, let's jump into it. So we're gonna start off with Statuesque from Pat McGrath. And again, these are called the Eye Dolls, and they're $12.50 on her website. As you guys can tell, see, I didn't want to have a ton of pigment because this is not the shadow I want to stand out, just to have some type of transition into the crease. And I'm just placing the pigment in right now, and then I'm gonna really diffuse this one out. This is like that palette, I don't have to think about what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take a clean Sigma E40, and I'm just gonna start blending that out. Now, if you don't want this, and if you don't have a color like this Pat McGrath one, if you own the Mega Ship palette, if you just bought this one, another great shade would just be that one we used as a transition shade in that video. You can definitely use that one here. We'll even take a little bit of that one onto my E40, blend it into that one because it's even more cool toned. And another thing you can do is just take your contour shade that you used if you use contour powder. Like this is just my Makeshift Z palette, and this is my Bronze Noir or my Makeup Forever SD116. I use that anyway, so I'll take the actually the Viseart one because it's more sheer and I'll just make sure I blend out the edges of the statuesque. And again, we are just literally diffusing that out almost into something very, very faint. I do not want that to stick out. Now I'm gonna take this Sigma, and this is an E61. This is the all-purpose buffer brush. I just got this recently because I had to get another E40. I love this brush for, you know, how I always just diffuse things out. Watch this magic. Can we talk about that? How amazing is that? So this is the type of brush I would just try to keep as clean as possible. It's big, and that's what I like about it, because it's going to literally buff out everything. And do you see how smooth that looks? This is another product that I am just literally dying over. This is the Nabla Brow Ambition Micro Stroking Brow Pen in Ash Blonde. If you're a blonde, light blonde, have brows that are similar to, brow color, you need this pen in your life. I just did a brow tutorial, so how I used the Valentino pen is how I use this pen, so you can check out that video. And I had to mention it, you can get that at Ulta only, not Sephora. And the Sephora sale date's right there. Everything starts on, I think October 28th for Rouge, and it goes to, everything ends on November 7th. If you're VIB, that one starts November 1st and it goes through the 7th. And then if you're an insider, which if you don't belong to anything, I'd sign up today, it's free, and you will get 10% off, and you won't be able to shop the holiday savings event until November 3rd. Again, everything ending on November 7th. The code will be savings. And then everything in the Sephora collection will be 30% off, and that starts the very first day. All right, I am actually gonna start with the bronze first, and that shade is called Bronzed Mink. Oh, it's just incredible. That formulation is insanely good. So we're gonna put this one right here in the crease, like right there. We're gonna stamp it on the outside like that. And this is why if I would have done this, if I would have laid the black down first, this color wouldn't show through at all. And I really want you guys to be able to see that color. That is going on really nice for a metallic. Let's put a little bit of my Viseart powders down just so we make sure we don't mess up my makeup. We're gonna take this BK Beauty 505, just a flat brush, and we're gonna take that same bronzed shade, and I'm just popping that in right here as like a halo. We're gonna go into Bronzed Illusion first, that last coppery shade. And we're just gonna kind of start to lighten that up right here, because we're doing the silver in the middle, but it's like we're graduating that into the silver eventually. So I'm just gonna take that right there. It's like we have the darker bronze on the outside. Now we're taking this like rose gold color and just kind of meshing it in so that it blends. I'm gonna take a little bit on the top there. Again, doing that right there. That is a really beautiful color. I have to say, all of these metallics are performing unbelievably gorgeous. I mean, it's Pat McGrath, we all know. Beautiful. Okay, it's gonna come together, so just trust the process. You guys know I always get you there. All right, now we're gonna take this first shade, and that one is called Nude Moon. Again, like a yellow peachy undertone, I would say, to this for the brow bone. Look at that. How pretty is that? Now we're gonna go back to Nude Moon and pop that into the inner corner. Oh my, how pretty is that? So far, all of these shades are performing to perfection. We are gonna go in with this beautiful black matte. I would say it's like a charcoal black matte, not necessarily like a deep black, more like a charcoal black, where I thought it was navy blue, but when I got it in person, it's not navy blue. And we're gonna keep this really tight on the outside, okay? So, but I'm just kind of stamping it in for right now. Ooh, that's a really good charcoal black. All right, I'm gonna take my first brush we were using, the A504, and we're just gonna kind of blend out those edges a little bit. Wow, this is a really easy black to work with. Not a lot of blacks are easy to work with. believe it or not, they can look very choppy, muddy, and patchy. Now I'm gonna take statuesque, and at this point you could take any color that you have similar to this, or your bronzer, your contour shade, like I said, whatever you want to use, it's up to you. We're just gonna go over that color and just start building into that transition we already laid down. See how that's just kind of peeking through on the top there? I'm gonna build up that inside a little bit with the statuesque. So I'm gonna take another A504, it's the same brush I was using, but a clean one. And I'm gonna build up just that inner area right there. Now I'm gonna take that Sigma brush, the blending brush. This is the E61. See how nicely that smooths everything out. Oh, that is really beautiful, you guys. All right, so we've used every shade in here but the star of the show. And to me, this is the star of the show. I mean, literally. All right, so I'm gonna dab off a little bit on the back of my hand because like I said, you want a small amount with products like this. I learned my lesson with the Anastasia one, and that was similar to this kind of texture. This is the only reason why. Do you see how it's really, I mean, you guys can see that. It just shines like the top of a Chrysler building. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Do you see this? This is unreal. This is out of this world. Oh my God, the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Seriously, Mama Pat, seriously, what did you do to this shade? It is magnifico. Not even a whole lot of fallout with that. Like at all. That is what I call a pure spotlight eyeshadow. I don't even have words right now. I just don't. I'm literally speechless. Never speechless. Like this is insanely beautiful. All right, let's take my Dominique Cosmetics pigment brush. I think this palette just took the cake for palette of the year for me. Yeah. I just don't even have words. Pat McGrath, you do this to me every time. Don't worry, we're gonna blend out the edges of this, but we're just laying this down, really getting that pigment in there. It's magical. And what I'm gonna do now to blend out the edges, I'm gonna take this first shade we used, Nude Moon, and I'm gonna just blend out the edges with this one so that we don't get too much of the metallic around, but it blends into the other shades. That's the goal I want. And I didn't want it to be the bronze one because I would take away some of that lightness. So that's why I'm using the Nude Moon. And by doing this, it's gonna tie into that inner corner. All right, now we're kind of covering up the bronze a little bit, but that's where we're at now. So we're gonna go back into that BK Beauty Angie brush, going back into the black, out that outer crease. All right, I'm gonna go into this Angie A502. Now I'm gonna go into my Viseart Bronze Noir. All right, I'm gonna take this Crown flat brush. We're gonna go back into the black and we're gonna use this as a liner. And like she said, you can wet this. I'm gonna take my Avene spray. So you can wet that. Make sure you don't get it so damp that you ruin your palette. I'm gonna go into this black shade. So what I would typically do with like a liner, I'm doing it with the shadow instead. And it actually keeps it a little less harsh when you do that. I like it. And then you could take like a really tight pencil brush, like this rougher number 23. We'll take that one. And then we'll just kind of smoke that out a little bit more, like right there. I love this brush for that. See how that gets in there? Nice and tight. Now we're gonna take BK Beauty 208. I love this one for liner. By doing that little bit of liner right there, I usually do it with like liquid liner. You're gonna close the eyelash band gap between your eyelid and the eyelash, the false lash. So it's a good way of kind of disguising it. Right, we're gonna take that black and we're just gonna go along the lash line right there, just like that. We're gonna eventually bring it all the way through, but just starting small. I'm actually bringing this all the way through. And just whatever's left over, I kind of bring it on the inside. I'm just pressing it on the outside so I can connect that line to the top. Just like that. And I'm gonna take that little pointed Rougher 23 brush, again dipping it into the black and just kind of smoothing out now. This is just a great one to smooth out. That first BK Beauty one was really good for like laying down the line, and now I'm just kind of smoothing out. But I love this one. We're gonna take Statuesque for really going underneath the dark colors on the lower lash line, creating like that same momentum we have on the top with the Statuesque and the black together. It's so pretty. All right, we're gonna go into this bronze color, going underneath the black, but really concentrating there, right there. When you put that little bit of shimmer there, it just makes your eyes pop a little bit more. I personally want to add in a little bit more brown into this look, so I'm gonna go into this Makeup by Mario, and I'm gonna take this darker brown right here next to his black. And I just want to add in a little bit more. I just feel like I want just a teensy bit more, just right there. Ooh la la, ooh la la. All right, I'm going to go back into this really fast and just plop a little bit more black in there with that same Chikuhodo corner brush we used. Right there. I'm going to take that Angie brush. We're going to kind of wipe that off a little. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. Final blender, Sigma E61. We're gonna blend, and then I'm gonna pop on lashes, and we'll be back with the final look. So that is how the final look came together. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is so unbelievably gorgeous. This palette is breathtaking. It applied just as beautiful as it looks in the pans. I mean, like I said, this palette, it had me at hello. I wanted the palette. The stock photos did not do it justice. This is even more unbelievably gorgeous in person than it is in the stock photos online. This is well worth $36. Wow, wow, wow. It reminds me a lot of the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, the same kind of vibes I got with the smoky tones and the kind of cool vibes, almost like the 90s, which is really in right now, vibes. This is just, I think this is way better. So just way better performance. This is really beautiful, but this just, oh my gosh. It just creates, like I said, the most unbelievably beautiful looks. And like I said earlier in the video, you can really create a lot of different looks with this palette. You can go warm almost with this. You can really definitely go more cool. You can really go natural with it, but you can also go very smoky eyed like I did. This is one of my favorite looks to create. I love gold, but I love that silver touch to it. It almost has like, if you look at this one, okay, this is the Pat McGrath one, and then you look at the one from the Xenon palette, which is beautiful. This is more of a silvery gold. More has like a white base, almost like a blue base to it, where this one has more of a bronze base to it. So very different, both extremely gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but you just see more punch with that Pat McGrath one. Versus this Natasha Denona one, but absolutely gorgeous. It just reminded me of this palette so much, but you do definitely get more bronze tones. I mean, this is definitely very cool toned. Oh my gosh, as I break it. This is definitely more, you get some warmth in there. It is really beautiful. I mean, just stunning. This is, like I said, I will have this in my travel bag. This is a solid 5 out of 5 stars. Oh my gosh, if I can give it 10 stars, I would give it 10 stars. It is really beautiful. Let's take a look at my rate card. As far as application goes, I mean, everything went on and glided on like perfection. Like I said in the Pat McGrath Mega Celestial palette, I went off camera to put my lashes on and no mistakes, no gaps, nothing I had to really fix. So that is unbelievably awesome. So 100% for application. Pigmentation, I mean, it just goes beyond with pigmentation in Pat McGrath in these shades. So creamy, so beautiful, so perfect for mature skin. My gosh, almost 45, and let me tell you, this glided on like a dream. So pigmentation, 100%. Shade formulation, I mean, just incredible. And shade formulation is different from pigmentation because there could be pigments and shades and still not perform that good. So each one of these shade formulations, from the shimmers to the foiled metallics to the mattes, performed like a dream. So 100% with the shade formulation. Long wearing, I couldn't even get it off my arm. This is incredible. This is gonna wear all day long. It is really beautiful. So 100% long wearing. Color story, it couldn't be more perfect in my opinion. I don't look at this as my everyday palette. I look at this as something I'm gonna pull out when I'm creating a specific look. Now, some of these metallics I could use for everyday. So color story for me is just perfection, 100%. There's really nothing in this I would change for a 5-pan mini palette. Beautiful. Worth the money? Absolutely. I would have paid more for this. This is, in my opinion, a very affordable palette for the pigmentation, the presentation, the color formulation. It is just pure perfection. So 100% worth the money. This is just a palette I can't even explain to you, and I can't even show you guys on camera how magnificent it is. So 150% of me would recommend this palette. This Bronze Bliss was everything I was looking for. So I highly recommend this. I think the other one is really beautiful if you're into berry tones, pink tones, rose gold tones. That's just not my cup of tea. I'm definitely more of a bronzed girl. Greens, blues, browns, smoky blacks. That's just more my preference. So I'm sure the other one probably performs amazing. There's probably a ton of videos out on that one, but I am very happy with the one I got, and this just fits me. So really beautiful. Comment below. Let me know if this was something you had in your basket. It's something you were thinking about getting. I'm not sure when these are coming to Sephora. I'm assuming it's going to be soon because now the Mega Celestial's now at Sephora, the big holiday palette, and I'm sure everything is going to kind of trickle behind. I know when I release this today, she's releasing more of the holiday collection today on Friday, so you can definitely utilize my link. That will only be available on her website. I do want to pick up that Skin Fetish highlighter, or I don't know the name of it. I'll put it right there. I want to pick that up eventually. I just can't buy everything right now, you guys. I wish I could, but I'm trying to buy as much as I can without going completely broke. So I hope you understand that. I know there's a lot of influencers out there that can buy, and YouTubers that can buy every shade, every color, and they have that kind of money. I don't. So I have to buy what I can and review what I can for you guys. And I hope you appreciate that. When you do utilize my links, it really does help support a small channel like mine, because it helps me to continue purchasing new makeup and get more variety for you guys. So I greatly appreciate it. It's no extra cost to you if you decide to buy. This palette is only on Pat McGrath as I'm speaking right now. Maybe by the time I release this on Friday, maybe Sephora will have picked it up, hopefully before the sale, but you still can get like the 10% off on Pat McGrath. So keep that in mind, and I'll reminder of the Sephora sale dates coming up. I will have Sephora recommendation videos. I will again have a makeup video and a hair video separate. So stay tuned for those. We still have a lot more to go, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate all your love and support. And if you are new here, before you go, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell so you can get notified. We're here every Friday and Sunday, and we just really love for you to become part of our family. Our sisterhood is growing every single day, and I just love and adore you guys all so much. I love meeting my new Glam Sisters. Thank you for commenting below and saying hello. Thank you to all my other Glam Sisters that just comment and are here for me every Friday and Sunday. You really don't know how much that dedication means to me. You guys always tell me how much you appreciate everything I do. I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. So thank you. The feeling is mutual. And I will see you guys on Sunday with the new Charlotte Tilbury face palette. I love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.